I'm Ricky Tomlinson. I've been searching for the red shirts that England met some of the lads who wore them with pride.
£80,000.
So journey with me as I turn detective in search of the shirts of '66.
Hello, I'm Ricky Tomlinson, and I've been talking to the footballing legends from the 1966 World Cup final. I've been trying to find out what happens to the shirts they wore on that fantastic day. Now, being so famous, you'd think them shirts would be rather easy to find. But despite all my exhaustive detective work, some of them are proving rather difficult to locate.
Gordon Banks and George Cohen's shirts are missing in action in Germany. Nobby Stiles has Alan Ball's. Roger Hunt and Nobby Stiles are with collectors. The whereabouts of Bobby Moore's remains a mystery. We're also following England's progress through the 1966 tournament. This time, it's the quarter-final against the mighty Argentina.
Today, I'm going to see Ray Wilson, Big Jackie Charlton and Martin Peters to see if they can help me in my search for the shirts of 1966! Oh, they think it's all over! It is now! I'm here in Newcastle where I've come to talk to Jackie Charlton. Now, Big Jack's height and determination made him one of the most effective defenders in the game.
The World Cup was within England's reach. If only they could keep the lead for a few desperate minutes against the West Germans.
Well, this is lovely here, Jack, lad. It's beautiful. The surroundings are beautiful, but I'm sure you didn't start off like this, did you and your kid?
No, we lived in a colliery house, as you call them.
A colliery house?
A colliery house.
Yeah.
We didn't have a bathroom or anything like that. No bathroom.
No.
Toilet was at the bottom of the yard. And I think the reason my mother and father went to Beatty Street is because the park was just down the bottom on the other side of the school. So we could go and play football in the park if we wanted.
Well, obviously you played, back from your school days, you played football.
There was never any doubt that we were going to be footballers because I'm from a very famous footballing family called the Milburns.
Yeah, I remember Jackie Milburn.
Jackie Milburn, George, Jimmy and Stan, who played for Leeds United, Chesterfield, Leicester City. Stan played in Rochdale. They were good pros. And Jimmy Milburn played for Leeds United for, just been 15, 20 years, because I thought about being a policeman. Yeah. But I also got an invitation to Leeds United to have a trial down there. And I had to make a decision, either go and be a policeman or go and be a footballer. I decided to go and be a footballer. I'd have been a right if I'd have been a policeman, I tell you. So I went away to Leeds, and then I was there for 22 years.
Bloody hell, was it? 22 years.
Charlton. Charlton now going through, and eventually got a penalty, and it's in the net.
Our kid went away to Manchester. He played at every level, our kid. And everybody, I mean, people say to me, you're never as good a player as your kid. They had so many people coming wanting our Robert to sign for them. And they used to say, I couldn't play, but I was good at stopping other people playing.
Bridges, Hinton, Graham, lovely football. Brilliantly read then by Charlton, the lead centre-half.
Well, it's the first time I've ever heard your brother called Robert. Isn't that amazing?
Well, I call him all sorts of names, actually. War Bob.
Yeah.
Our kid.
Yeah.
And our Robert.
When was your international debut? Who did you play against?
We just beat Man United in the FA Cup in the semi-final. And Don came into me and he said, can I have a word, Jack? And I said, yes, boss, what is it? He said, I didn't want to tell you before the game because I thought it might put you off. He said, but you've been selected to play for England against the Scots at Wembley. And I said, me? I thought I'd got to tell our kid. So I went out the dressing room, up the corridor, into the Manchester United dressing room. And I went across to him and I said, hey, kid, you'll never believe this. I said, but I've been selected to play for England against the Scots at Wembley, you and me. you got to remember, he's just been knocked out of the FA Cup. And he looked up at me and he went, I'm pleased for you. 3 people away from him was Paddy Crowland. And Paddy looked across, he went, yes, Jack, we're all delighted for you now. Out of the dressing room. When I suddenly realised what I'd done, you know.
And how did you get on with it with Alf Ramsey?
I always had the feeling that Alf didn't really like me.
Go away.
I don't know why, but I always did.
Well, he must have liked your footballing ability, lad, mustn't he?
I suppose I was doing the job because of I was a good header of the ball, I was quite mobile, and I've never believed that centre-backs should be footballers. They're there to stop people playing and to give the ball to people in front of them and let them go and play.
I asked Jack to recall the quarter-final game against Argentina.
It was a silly game. We felt that they were one of the better teams in the competition, and they just didn't come out to play. They just come out to stop us playing.
And we'd been watching all these games, all the other games that were going on, and Argentina, we thought, were the best team, other than ourselves, really. And we thought that if we can beat them, we have nothing to worry about.
And we dug deep that day, and we really had a battle on our hands. And if the Argentinians had have come and really played, we'd have had a real match on our hands. But they came to spoil, they came up, every trick in the book.
Every time you went past one, he just obstructed you and just stand and put their hands up.
They would just walk up to you and kick you or pull your shirts or spit at you.
Some of the fouls on the perpetrated by the Argentine were some of the worst successes I've ever seen on the football pitch.
And another one going in the book. He'll fill a library before he's finished.
Hence the conversation that Alf had with the press where he called them animals.
Because Alf told us, look, whatever you do not retaliate. Because if you retaliate, you're just doing exactly what they want you to do. And so you have to walk away from everything and take it. And then we did.
Ratin, who was a very, very good player, big, strong centre midfield player, he never left the referee's side.
He used to referee the bloody game then. I played against him previous out in South America, and he was just the same there. He used to bullet referee and everybody.
That particular day, he would not listen to the referee. And I kept thinking, I don't really want it to happen, but if he's not careful, he's going to say too much.
Virtually every decision he argued.
Because he must have warned him a dozen times.
And the referee just got fed up with him and sent him off. But they couldn't get him off.
He's shouting all his players, yeah, come on, we're all going. And he wanted to take the team off because he was the captain. And the interpreter comes on and he's obviously saying, look, if you go off, England will go through, you'll forfeit the game.
We've eventually, after about 10 minutes, he went off.
As we were walking off the pitch, the band's coming on. I think it was the Grenadier Guards or somebody like that. And Ratin was still at it with them. You know? I can still remember him.
And it wasn't till about 10, 15 minutes from the end that I got a ball on the left-hand side of midfield, and I hit this ball with my left foot and it got right into the near post, and Jeff read it perfectly. He got a great header and it went in the far corner.
We only just managed to sneak that with a typical West Ham goal, which I think is one of the goals I'm very proud of, and Martin and I are proud of.
It's a game we were glad to get through. And it finished up 1-0.
Did you say you had an Argentinian shirt? Because didn't Alf stop the team
Alf didn't want us to swap them over, but I swapped it over.
George Cohen was looking as though he was going to swap shirts, and Alf took it off him.
I think it was Lopez, I'm not quite sure, who decided he wanted my shirt. So he almost had it off my back anyway. You know, I was going to shake hands with him. We had this shirt hanging from one wrist that was about 4 feet long by the time Alf got there. He was very angry, and he said to me, "You're not changing your shirts with that so-and-so." I'm not going to tell you what he said. But he said that he wasn't going to let me change.
And I don't know if the lads have told you this, but later on, we're in there and we're all celebrating because we're through to the semis. Again, there was a banging on the door, and it was the Argentinians. They wanted to come in and fight us. All of a sudden, through the plate glass, there comes a chair. Glass all over the place. And now go and have a look. There's 4 or 5 of them. Come on, if you want to fight, come on, we'll have a fight.
Somebody said, it's the Argentinians that want to come in and fight us. And apparently I said, well, let them in. You know, and...
Now, the public never got to know about this for one reason. And as I say, it comes down to that great guy, Alf Ramsey. He said, just remember one thing. He says, they're on the plane home tomorrow. He says, you're in the semi-final of the World Cup.
Now, had he reported that, they would have been in serious trouble, but he didn't do it.
Well, that was sportsman. That was it being a sportsman.
That's right.
So, time for the big question. What became of Jack Charlton's shirt?
Alan Winthrop lives next door, and when we first moved into this house, we went to a fancy dress party with them. So I gave Alan my shirt to wear to go, which he did, and I went as a referee. And I never thought anything more about it. And this must have been 15, 16 years ago. And then all of a sudden, last year, Alan turned up at my door and he knocked on the door, and I said, yeah, what can I do for you? He said, I found this upstairs. I put it away in a drawer, and we never used that room. And it was my shirt. He had had it for 15 years, and I didn't know. Never entered my head.
Can we have a look at that one before we go? That's it.
There you are. That's it, number 5.
That would have just fitted me, that, you see, Jack. I could have been there. Mind you, I was a goalie, so your position was safe. If I'd have took it up, Banksy might never have got in the team, you know. I think it's wonderful that people want to know where the shirts are and who's got them and where they've been. I think it's great.
I never think about it, actually. It's just been upstairs in its packet.
But you can't see the wood for the trees, you see, because it was just another shirt to you, wasn't it?
Well, it was, yeah.
But it isn't it? It's like to football fans and collectors, it's priceless, isn't it?
Goal! Jack Charlton's shirt in the back of the net. Next, I'll be visiting England fullback Ray Wilson. Going to see an expert who knows a thing or two about the colour red.
Only the dominant males have this very intense red coloration.
And meeting World Cup legend Martin Peters.
It's there! Peters has scored!
In part 1, I managed to track down Jack Charlton's red shirt, lost for 15 years. Result. We also followed England as they beat Argentina in the quarter-finals.
Well, I'm carrying on my investigation now by going to Halifax to meet up with fullback Ray Wilson. When I've had a little chat with Ray, I'm going to be travelling down south to have a few words with midfielder Martin Peters.
But first, I'm going to stop off in Durham to visit the university. No, not to collect my PhD in detection, but to see a man who knows about the importance of the colour red.
Red is often a sign of dominance. It signals dominance. It's a badge of status in animals, from animals ranging from stickleback fish with their red bellies, up to mandrills, primates with their intensely coloured faces, where the red stripe is really a signal of a male's dominance, and only the dominant males have this very intense red coloration.
Do you think the fact that the England players wore red shirts in '66 actually made a difference to them?
We actually collected some data on the way in which football shirt colours influence the outcome of sporting events, and we looked at the shirt colours worn in the last European Championships, where teams such as England wear two shirt colours, red and obviously the white that they wear as their first choice strip. And what we were able to show is that for the 5 teams that wore red as one of their 2 shirt colours, all of those teams had better results on average when playing in their red compared to their other shirt colour. So it does suggest that in these final situations, in these very close competitions, that it could be red that's actually tipping the balance in favour of one of the 2 teams.
Is red just as important in sport and competition as in, say, warfare?
We wouldn't necessarily expect this red advantage to hold for non-combat or non-competitive sports. So wearing red to play snooker, for example, isn't likely to give you the same sorts of advantages as you'd get in these highly competitive sports such as football or boxing.
I'll pass that on to Steve Davis next time.
I'm here in Halifax to see Ray Wilson. Ray was a member of the 1962 World Cup campaign, and Alfred Ramsey's first choice at left-back. He was a cert to be playing in the 1966 tournament.
It's lovely sitting here, Ray, and out in the countryside, and makes it different from where I live in Liverpool.
I got the chance to come here to Huddersfield on the ground staff when I was 15, and as soon as I got off the bus in Huddersfield, it's bordering on the Pennines there, and then I thought, oh, this is gasping. And I never really wanted to live anywhere else.
No, it's absolutely
good. I mean, when I was playing at Everton, it was lovely. I mean, that was the best part of my career. But I never really settled there.
It's Wilson now having made space for himself. Oh, husband! Oh, magnificent save by Drummond.
Did you all get a cap and medal for that World Cup final?
Oh, yes.
game?
An international cap.
Yeah.
So
I
have you
sold
still
that.
got... Well, that's fair enough. Yeah.
I sold that and put it into my pension. I've sold me World Cup medal as well.
Well, that's fine. Well, that's great. So it's coming.
Well, I put it into my pension because I never made a bloody penny out of playing football. So I decided to call it a day, and of course then I went to work for my father-in-law who was in the funeral business.
Really, you didn't really change much, did you, from a footballer to the funeral business, because it was like get it in the box and then get it in the box again, wasn't it?
Yes. You better cut that out.
Yeah. Then cut all that.
The memory of my career could go down there.
No, it won't. This will go out on DVD.
You went around here and the local...
Get it in the box.
So has Ray got his World Cup final shirt stashed away in his Halifax home?
I got into the dressing room after the game. A couple of guys came in from the German dressing room and said, anybody want to change the shirts? And quite a number of us did. Even with hindsight, people might say, yeah, that's a silly thing to do. But it was natural. That's what we did.
Yeah. And that's it. So you don't know who got your shirt?
Can't remember his name in the play, but he wanted a member of the team. He was a member of the 22.
I've got you, but he never played on the day.
But he never played in any of their games.
Yeah.
And so this reserve got mine.
So Ray's shirt's in Germany. A trip there is now a certainty.
Yeah.
See you again. Yeah. God bless.
I hope so.
Hopefully, I'll have better luck with Martin Peters. It was still a long way to go to London, and I was getting tired. For such a small island, there's an awful lot of roads. I'll make an early start tomorrow to continue my quest for the shirts of '66. But first, quality shut-eye.
I found all the shirts. Paulies, Nobby Styles, Roger Hunts. I found them. I found all the shirts. I found a bloody lot of them. Oh.
Refreshed and raring to go after a cracking night's sleep, Detective Tomlinson hit the road again. Destination, West Ham, and a rendezvous with an England legend.
This is the Boleyn Ground, Upton Park, home to West Ham Football Club and three of the finest footballers ever to set foot on a football pitch. Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, and the man I'm here to see today, Martin Peters.
Peters, Ben on the left wing. Oh, well done, Peters. A fine goal. A splendid goal by Peters.
Hello, young man, how are you?
Nice to see you. Well, I came here in 1959, which sounds a long time ago, really, you know, and I was on the ground staff.
When did you actually get into the first team?
1962. It was on Good Friday, and we were playing Cardiff City, and I was 18.
And then you made your England debut in '66 against Yugoslavia?
Yes, May the 4th, 1966. Played OK, didn't play great, but played OK, and we won 2-0, and so that was a stepping stone, really, for me.
Let's go to the World Cup '66. You were one of three West Ham players in the squad. Must have been a big help just to have two of your mates there in the side.
Well, obviously, Bobby Moore had been, and this is his stand we're sitting in today, the great Bobby Moore, had been around since '62, and he played in the World Cup in '62 in Chile. But Jeff and myself have only come into the team months before the World Cup was starting, and to have the three of us in the squad was great, because, you know, we all got, you know, I was playing with Bobby Charlton and Jimmy Greaves, and, you know, they were my idols, really, you know, but to have Bobby and Jeff in the same team was fantastic as well.
It's there! Peters has scored!
Tell me what happened to your shirt.
I really made a mistake. I swapped it with Overarth, Wolfgang Overath, who was a player I'd come across many times in my career. I'd played against him for England schoolboys at Wembley, I'd played against him for England youth, I'd played against him for England under-23s, and then in the World Cup finals. And he was a fantastic player. And really, I rue the day. I tried to get it back in '96 when Jeff Hurst was trying to get the ball back from Helmut Haller. I tried to get my shirt back, but apparently he said it's up in the loft, but he couldn't find it.
So what happened to your medal and your international cap?
Well, I had a number of people trying to buy it off me, and it was mainly from outside the country, and I didn't want to lose it to outside the country. But I got in contact with West Ham and we spoke about it, and we decided that I would sell it to West Ham, plus the memorabilia associated with West Ham.
But, I mean, obviously, we hope your original shirt is somewhere in Germany. But can you just clarify this for me? Is this the original... Is this Wolfgang's shirt? Is this the one that he swapped you for?
Yeah, number 12, that's the exact one. No, it's definitely the shirt, yeah.
Oh, that's the one.
That was in my loft for a long time, but now it's in the West Ham Museum.
Well, I'm going to go and try and meet this Wolfgang and see if he'll swap it back. I doubt if he will, but I will certainly do my best.
Don't forget I was number 16.
Number 16?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. What did Martin Peters say?
Don't forget I was number 16.
If I remember, the expert at Christie's had a number 16 shirt, didn't he?
Number 16, Red England shirts.
Well, I'm off across London now to Christie's, because maybe Wolfgang Overath has put it up for auction.
So I noticed on the shirt before that it had the number 16 on the back. Do you want to tell us where you got it from?
For every big international game, they're given 2 shirts. And this is the actual spare shirt that Martin Peters was issued with for the World Cup final in 1966. As you mentioned, number 16 is squad number for that whole tournament. And you'll see from its condition, obviously, it's in wonderful condition, so it's never actually been worn on his back, sort of thing.
So you're sure you never got it off Wolfgang Overath?
No. Yeah, this is definitely the spare. I believe, obviously, Martin must swap this with Wolfgang, but this is definitely the spare shirt. We know that because of a famous story, Sid Brown, the bus driver from the English football team during the World Cup, him and Harold Shepperson were given spare shirts. Harold was given Bobby Moore's spare shirt, number 6, and Sid was given number 16, which was Martin Peters' spare from that particular game.
So it was only the spare. While I may have drawn a blank over Ray Wilson's and Martin Peters' shirt, they're lost in Germany. At least I've got Jack Charlton's in the bag. Brilliant! Join me next time when I meet one of the world's greatest footballers ever. Sir Bobby Charlton. We follow England's progress against Portugal in the semi-finals.
Across to Bobby Charlton. Another great goal.
That Portugal-England game at Wembley was just one of those great nights of fluent football.
And I go in search of the shirt stashed away in Germany. See you, kid.